Hello and namaste, everyone. I'm so sorry that I delayed. I misjudged the timing. I'm in UK and I was thinking Mr. Kapil told me the timing of Dubai and totally gone mess. But don't worry, we're gonna make it this very interesting for everyone. We'll wait for a minute or two before we start. Welcome, Archana. Please also do write in the comment where you're watching from. Also, don't forget to share this so other people can get benefit and some knowledge about the difference between the yin and yang and how both are very important. Whoever is there, please do write in the comment if my voice and the video is okay, so I don't have to do any changes. Good evening, Kesari ji. Namaste. Thank you, Pragya Yoga Alliance, for organizing this wonderful series of talk to create awareness on yoga, mindfulness and meditation, and the authenticity of yoga. Thank you, Kapil, for confirming on that. I'll wait for a minute before I begin with today's topic. Let some more people join, guys. Again, I'm very, very sorry that I delayed the session, but that was not the plan. Okay, so today's topic that I'll be talking about and creating a little bit awareness on the difference between the yin and the yang. In Hatha Yoga, this is also known as Ida and Pingala, or left and right, or sun and moon. Now, the yin yoga is as old as Hatha Yoga style. Where does it come from? That's the question. Yin yoga is more from a Chinese and from Taoism. But in between, it has been disappeared completely. And last 1 decade, yin yoga has been become more active and more popular because the benefit of it. And behind the benefit, there's how each and every individual getting to improve their lifestyle. So I will explain what is the difference between the yin and yang. First, understand the yang. An activity and exercise that we do it's all yang exercise. What is yang in our body? The yang is our muscles and the blood that is flowing within the body. This is yang. This is more fluid part of the body. And we know any of the style that when we practice, maybe yin yoga, not yin yoga, hatha yoga, ashtanga power yoga, vinyasa flow, or lifting weight or running. Most of the time we are working out or exercising our muscle. This we are very familiar with. Now there's another part within the body and we are not familiar to this. It's known as connective tissues, also known as fascia. And if I tell you there are 30%, almost 30% within the muscle, there are tissues and we are not bothered about it. We never exercise those parts of the body. So one is tissue, to understand what is yin now. Tissue, the connective tissue, the fascia, the ligaments. And if you don't know the ligaments, job in the body, they're holding each and every bones. And the bone. These are three very important organs within the body that is falling under the yin category. Now, when it comes to the exercise, how we define that there's a different exercise and that will work for the yin part of the body, and there are different exercise that will work for the yang part of the body. If you see the Hatha Yoga, when he's talking about, Hatha Yoga talk about balancing the energy, the prana between the yin and yang, or Shiva and Shakti, or Ida or Pingala, whatever name you give it. We know this two side. But did you ever work on activating the both sides? The research that I've been doing and practicing for the last 20 years, my understanding that most of us constantly working on activating the right side of us. That is the solar side. And where we're forgetting our moon side. That is as important as the solar side. We never do activation of that. Else, if you're doing some pranayam like Chandrabhedi or balancing pranayam of energy, Nadi Shodhan, that's a different story. But when it's coming to the exercise, 99% we are exercising our muscles, that is yang, and our blood flowing into the muscles. So I'll explain to you now. There are 5 elements of fitness. Hope you're familiar with this. You can write in the comment if you know, not all 5, maybe 1 or 2. I'll be eager to watch if anyone of you knows that. Elements of fitness are 5. 1 is flexibility. 2nd is strength. 3rd is endurance. 4th is stamina. And 5th, agility, also known as balance. This 5 is the only element of fitness. And there are not many forms of exercise in the world that can deliver all 5 at the same time. But yoga can do it. But here the understanding has to be clear. Not only one yoga style, the combination of different yoga style. Hatha yoga, when it comes to the asana, it's good for your muscular system. Where the yin yoga brings balance to the left side and works on the tissues, ligaments, and your bones. Now the difference of exercise, I will explain to you, and this, all of you who are watching here, keep this in mind and explain how this works. This is your muscle. Muscles are more elastic and your ligaments are more plastic. I'm repeating again, muscles are elastic and ligaments are plastic. So if I stretch my muscle, I leave it, I snap back where it was, it will come back. This is how the muscle work, and we do stretch in every asana. We stretch it, we leave it, and it comes back to this position, right? Now what happened, before I go to the how the yin part can become active, also understand, there's no such reason only that we have in our life to just keep working on the muscle part, because there's no awareness we created ever that there's another part of the body that we should activate. So this is muscle. Now let's come to the plastic part of the body. So when we working out on the muscle, so the muscle like to get exercise this way. You're doing extension and flexion, and your muscle will get trained, right? You do push-up, you do Danbatak, you do no exercise, your muscle will get this, what muscle like it. But within the muscle and inside the body, there are tissues and ligaments. Those part does not get exercise with this movement, or we're doing Surya Namaskara. Big difference. Now let's come to the plastic part. Your ligaments, your tissues, as I said, they are plastic. And this is the card I am holding in my hand. Please don't steal the number from here and use it. If I fold this card, as an example, I'm trying to stretch my plastic part. And if I do it in a yang way, I'm moving front and back. See what we do, constantly doing forward, backward bending, exercising. If I do this 100 times, this card will break, isn't it? But if I need to change the shape of this card and shape of my tissues and ligaments, I'm going to hold this here, gentle stretch, understand this. Gentle stretch for the longer period of time. So how long? It depends now. Minimum timing to work on the yin part of the body should be 90 seconds. It can go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 minutes, depend on the asana that we practice. Now I'm just going to hold while I'm keep talking, and you see what happened to the card. So very different way to exercise the yin and the yang. And if you have any question, guys, when I'm talking, please do write me. So I will try my best to answer. So I same time clear the confusion. Thank you, Padida. Thank you. Now this card, can you see? A slight change. I just hold this for 30 seconds. But this is only one time exercise. Imagine I am exercising my tissues and ligaments every second day. Same group of tissues and ligaments for 2 to 3 minutes. I bend them and hold it. What will happen? I will sure bring lots of life to my ligaments and the tissues and bones. How the bones get impact? As soon as I create a stress on my tissues, the bone health improves. It's simple to understand. Because the ligaments are connected, ligaments are holding each and every bone. You stretch the ligaments, and you hold them, they will improve the capacity and the space between each and every bone. This is known as mobility as well. Most of us as a yoga practitioner sometimes not able to sit down in lotus pose. Why? We've been training for a long time. We've only been training the muscles. That's the problem. We never work on stretching and releasing the tension from the tissues and ligaments, and that is on your bones. Understand the difference. So there are certain practice, if you do it, maybe for next 2 or 3 weeks, everyone and anyone can sit down in lotus pose. It's not a difficult part. Please do share this so other people can walk same time. So Hatha Yoga explain, there are 4 chapters, we all familiar in Hatha Yoga, and they all, it's a beautiful science to transform the physical body, the energy body, and the mental body. And this is the preparatory yoga. Understand, Hatha Yoga we preparing. When I say Hatha, I also say Yang. Okay, there are certain exercise within the Hatha Yoga that helps you balance the Yin. I'm talking about the energy side of Yin, not the physical side of Yin. Now, if you go back to the history, within the Hatha Yoga, there are certain posture that is exactly the Yin Yoga posture, including the lotus pose is a Yin Yoga pose because we spend very long time. So how the meditation happen? You find one steady, comfortable position, you sit for 5 minutes and above, 10, 15, 25 hours. As soon as you in a posture for a longer period of time, more than 2 or 3 minutes, that posture turns into the Yin Yoga posture because certain tissues and ligaments under tremendous amount of stretch. So there are 4 or 5 asana even in the Hatha Yoga. Paschimottanasana in Hatha Yoga as an example. For how long we actually practice it? Maximum we hold for 5 breaths or 10 breaths. That remain a Yang exercise because in that longer time, you're only activating your muscles, you're stretching those. As soon as you cross 2 minutes, you're now going deeper into your ligaments. And big difference. So if I show you this, the physical side of benefit as I'm discussing, I will also show the energy side of benefit. As per Hatha Yoga, there are 72,000 energy channels. We are familiar with this, right? And out of those 72, there are 3. The most important one is the Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. Yin, Yang, and the most important is Sushumna. The problem in our life, in our practice, that we're not able to bring the balance. I'm repeating again, because we're not doing the right practices, right? The physical benefit of the Yin Yoga is to heal the tissues, the ligaments, and to bring life, then increase the bone density, same time. Also, there is an energy benefit, just like in Hatha Yoga, there are benefit to your energy channel, 72,000. Where in the Yin Yoga, this is not energy. They don't talk about prana, they talk about meridians. And we know how the acupressure and acupuncture works. I'm sure everyone familiar with it. If you see this dummy, it shows here different lines of meridian, and they're almost 18. And every posture that we practice in Yin Yoga, the authentic posture, the real posture, will activate certain meridian. As an example, if you see this part, if I need to heal my kidney, you do a cobra pose. It's a Yin Yoga pose same time. But what is the difference? For how long you do cobra pose when you're doing Hatha Yoga practice? 3 breath, 4 breath, 5 breath, 10 breath maximum, right? Where in the Yin Yoga, we stay for 2 minutes, plus above. So what happens when you're going into 2 minutes, your stretch is starting to go a little deeper. And these are the meridian. As soon as you go into the half cobra, this is known as a seal pose in Yin Yoga. It's not a cobra pose. It stretches the meridian for your kidney. And your kidney is holding the Jing energy. And that supports the energy system to the other organs, including your liver, your gallbladder, your large intestine, your small intestine. So as soon as you're activating the kidney in backward bending, your other organs also become active. It's the same way that you take a acupressure or acupuncture, going to that doctor or expert. It's the same way the Yin Yoga posture works on your energy channels, known as meridian. If you see the channel of energy here, the meridian, they are everywhere. Frontal limb, they're on your shoulders. So when you activate shoulder, in a shoulder stretch position, you're starting to work towards your heart and lungs. When you're working on the spine, your gallbladder meridian, your intestine meridian. When you're working on the hip, your reproductive organs, your liver meridian, your gallbladder meridian, you starting to improve the health of these things. These are the benefit of your energy. Now the question comes here that what we actually looking out of our yoga practice. How many of us actually trying to go beyond our body? This is the big question. And this is the question should come. There's a practice in Ashtanga Yoga, Swadhyaya, self-study. We should ask ourselves, what is our goal in life? And where the yoga that we're practicing should take us. It's simple. Just you want to become a fitter person, a healthier person, perfectly fine, you keep doing what you're doing. Or you want to really go beyond the body and have a higher experience in life. Big question mark. To go there, there has to be lots of understanding between the yin and yang and how you can awaken both and how you can merge both, right? Please do write me the question if you have it, Ani. I'll give another example here of the yin. My teeth is yin, the bone anchored in bone, right? This is the bone that anchored in the bone inside. There's also the bony structure. Now, if I tell you to exercise your teeth in a Western way is you take this in your hand, and you see, and you do this, right? This is Western way. Even the Yang practices, Hatha Yoga, Vinyasa flow, they're all Yang exercise. You hold it, you move front and back 12 times. Do 3 rounds of it. Within a 1 month, your teeth will be starting to fall. This is the wrong exercise for your teeth. Understand? Now, if I tell you, you need to go to the dentist, and dentist will help you to exercise your teeth. They will put a braces. Understand this very well. And braces will go for the longer period of time. Braces will create a gentle stretch. And through the stretch, longer period of time, your teeth will be starting to change its shape. That's yin exercise, perfectly supporting the yin part of the body. Understand? What is yin exercise? Gentle stretch for the longer period of time, and your bone has a capacity to change. As an example, we know how many people put in braces to bring the nice shape between the teeth. Simple. That can be done to every joint, every tissues, every ligament, but you have to understand the science behind it. So there are almost 30 posture, and the variation in yin yoga. 30 can become 50, 60, depends on the left and right side we're practicing. And this posture, when you practice, this is straight away taking you deep inside of you. There is a saying that yin takes you real in, and this is true. I have experiences. For last 10 years, I have been practicing, teaching, and doing teachers training on yin yoga, and know how it impacts. Just because it is a slow style, does not mean it's not going to help and work on you. This brings you down. This brings you into this movement. This slows you down completely. And that means you're working on the left side of you, activating the moon side of you, the Ida side of you. So the 90% time and energy we're spending on working on the right side of us, because we as a human don't like to slow down. Big difference. We like to move. We have trained our body whole life to move. And same way our mind. Constantly our mind is engaged with the past and future activity. Yang mind we train, not the yin mind. Yin mind is you slow down, you slowly become mindful, you slowly become aware to each and every action. That's the yin mind. But it will only you will develop as you do advanced yoga practices, everyday concentration, training yourself to slow down, to slow down, to slow down, or meditation, or you start adding 1 hour yin practice maybe twice or thrice a week. Understand? Thank you, Pandiji. Welcome to the poor Pandiji. Some lemon tea is going on here in the lecture. Let me see some comments. If somebody asking the questions, I'll answer. Thank you, Paridat. Please do not mind to ask questions. It's very important to clear the subject. So we come back to the flexibility. Most of us as a yoga teacher, a yoga expert or practitioner want to increase the flexibility. That's one goal of looking at it. It's very trendy goal. This should not be a goal of a yogi person, right? Flexibility or strength or balance or endurance or stamina comes as a side benefit while you're going through with this journey. The goal here should be very different. Goal here should be awakening the energy, uplifting the energy, and merging the energy. And many yogis has said in different way, connecting the individual consciousness with the supreme consciousness. Atma ka Paramatma se milan. Many different definition comes out. And you have to remember those goals that the practice of yours that you do it or you teach, it should take you closer to that goal. But only that will happen when you're doing it in the right way. Give me a moment, guys. Is anything for meniscus tear? Preeti, thank you for asking. There are not much exercise and research has been done on it, but certain mobility exercise, because your bones are damaged, the meniscus, the tissue, the ligaments is totally damaged, and you cannot put too much pressure on those areas. Okay, but gentle mobility exercise and gentle stretch over your knee. There are certain posture in yoga that we practice to release that pressure from those ligaments and bones can help, but there's no such research done on this, Preeti. Okay. I have experienced some people got benefit with doing certain practices. It again depends on the condition that they have it. Some people have a very minor tear, some people have a major tear in the meniscus. So it depends on every individual. For some practitioner, it might get healed, some it might not get healed and get worse. So it has to be very tailored made program. And certain practices, yoga practices can really help, but not all the practices that we think can help out. Hold on, guys. Thank you, Preeti. So we come back to the topic of yin and yang. How do we actually balance? And how do we work so that both grows together? That's the important question. Ask yourself a question that how much energy and time you are spending on keeping your body in a movement and the mind same time. Sorry, I had to read a comment. Yes, Preeti, you can do yoga regularly, but again, as I said, you have to create a balance in your yoga practice. Don't just try to stand on your hand or your head. That will not take you anywhere. Understand the deeper side of yoga and then starting to work on that and make your program as per that requirement. So, how do we balance? That's the big question. Many exercises as we practicing, you do 1 hour yoga. It can be hatha yoga flow, it can be vinyasa yoga flow. Perfectly have done great job to your body. And I say the body, your physical body, that involves more of the muscle, less of the tissues and the ligaments. So I will just quickly bring a picture and I'll explain a little bit more. Yin and yang. So how exactly this work? So if this, can you see this image, everyone? This is the symbol of yin and yang. You got it? A little bit more understanding this symbol will give us. If you see, there is in a yin, there is a small dot of yang here. And in yang part, there's a small dot of yin. This represents that in a yin, there is a yang, and in yang, there is a yin. Understand? In yin, there is a yang, but very minimum. But in a yang, there is a yin, also very minimum. So if the yang is 100%, you will see 5 to 10% is the yin in it. What does this mean? So when you even exercising in hatha yoga or power yoga or any other yoga style, of course you're working on your muscles more, but there is a little bit your yin part also involved, your tissues and ligaments involved, but very little. Same way when you're working out or doing the yin yoga practice, There's a yang part involved. You always using your muscle, but to very minimum. Also, another fundament here is when we're working on the yin part of the body, those are our tissues, the yin style, we never warm up our muscles. Why? Because as soon as you warm up the muscle will start to steal the stress that we're creating on the tissues and ligaments. And that's why there is no warm up, there is no sun salutation, there is no. We straight starting with the mindfulness practice and then starting to get into the yin asana. And they are very slow because the target is to go deeper, to exercise deep connective tissues, ligaments, and bone. So there is no warming up. The muscle remain cold. And within that process, this is the thing, the research has to be done. And research, only you can do it when you're practicing. So when next time, when you're doing your practice, this is very important lesson to take from here. When you're doing, let's say 20, 30, 40, 50 Surya Namaskara, watch your nostril. I can guarantee that your right nostril is active. Yogis were scientists and they had done the best possible research on their body, on their mind, on the energy system. You do 20 sun salutation, the right nostril will be active. That's why it's known sun salutation. And we know the right side has a more electric potential than the left side. That's why it's known as sun. This is the research few years ago came up, where the yogis thousands of years find out. Where the left side has a less electric potential than the right. So it does not generate more heat. It keeps you calm. So when you're doing that 1 hour yin practice, most of the time, out of that 1 hour, the left nostril will remain active. But when you're doing Hatha Yoga, your right nostril or both will be active. But left will have very little chance. Maybe it will come for a minute or two. This you need to be understand. The importance of both practices. So sun salutation or fast exercise is those working on your muscle while you're constantly moving, activating the solar energy within. When you practice the yin side of us, the yin yoga, activating the moon within us. And both has an important effect on our system, the physical system, the energy system, and the mental body. Same, all three we can grow. And the spirituality part comes later once the body gets purified. So the goal of yin yoga is simple. Slowing down, working on the part of the body that we have never touched before in our life. And those part is as important as your muscles. If you think only muscle is important, you have mistaken. Understand the importance of your ligaments, your tissues within the muscles, the 20 to 30%, the fascia. And I'll tell you a very important part. Hold on, please. Within the tissues, if you know the nervous system, there are 10 nerves are ending in your tissues where the one nerves end in your muscle. So tissues is important in your muscle. Now you think it's become more sensible when you understand the nervous system, how it's working. There are 10 nerves are ending in your tissues, in your fascia, where the one nerve end in your muscle. So when you're working on the yin yoga, the whole nervous system function change. You become very calm, soothing, slowing down the life, enjoying it each and every moment, where the mind thoughts also starting to slow down. The body and mind works together here. In the first chapter of Hatha Yoga, there's a practice, not the practice, is an achievement known as Asana Siddhi. And Asana Siddhi is the first step towards advanced yoga. How many of us actually can sit down for 30 minutes to maybe 4 hours, 36 minutes, or 5 hours? That was mentioned in the scriptures, without any movement. And sitting down is a yin practice. Your body and mind has to be yin if you want to jump into the state of being meditation or doing meditation. An active body, a fast body, with that having a movement will not able to achieve the state. Understand the importance of being slow and being steady and being firm and being still like a mountain. This leads you to the advanced experience in life. Now, what are the principles that we follow? Let's come to the little bit of practice side of yin. As you have done lots of yang already, I'm sure. There are three principles we follow when we practice yin. Finding the right depth every time we do asana. Because every individual, every body is uniquely made and is uniquely different from each other. Even if I tell you, you'll be surprised. Within the same body, if I take out these two bones from my forearms, left and right, they will not be the same. They are different from each other. Their density is different. Their thickness might be different. They might be from the edge where there's a lock happening, another bone. The face will be a little bit smaller or bigger. They're not same. So how you expect someone or your student that everyone should look like same in the same asana when they're practicing? It is impossible. What we look like in the asana is the result of our anatomical structure, our bony structure, our ligament structure. So they cannot be competition. That question is out of it. Three principles that I mentioned. Finding the right depth. What do you mean right depth? Everyone have a depth. Finding the right depth means finding the right edges. If you go on Padasthasana and touches your head to your knee, that is your depth without any trouble. If someone goes to only half the way down and they're feeling enough tension on the hamstring and glutes, that's their right depth because their body is made differently. This is important. So how to calculate that I am in the right depth? Let's say 10 is maximum pain. We should be on 6 or 7. We should not go beyond that because after that there is a chance you tear. And that's not yoga. Yoga means you're accepting yourself. Yoga means you're loving yourself. Yoga means you're growing from where you are today to the next level. Not where you are today and you're injuring yourself and going in backward direction. No. So finding the right depth, first step. Okay, I find the right depth. I feel good holding myself into this asana. It can be any yin yoga practice out of 30 or 35 postures. Second part is remain still. Body does not move in yin practice. I am still like a rocky mountain, like a pillar. My body moves only because the mind is very fluctuate. It's constantly engaged with different parts. But this will go away slowly as you're starting to go more and more and more into your practice. So finding the right depth, remaining still. You don't allow body to move unless you have some trouble, you're feeling pinching pain, or you're not comfortable in asana. Then you come out and redo it. It's very important that you have to remain aware of every action that you're making in a class. Otherwise, it's not a yoga. Once you find the right depth, holding is still. Now, what is the breath and mind doing? In yin yoga, we don't do shallow breathing or fast breathing. We do very normal breathing like a baby. Because body is not under movement here. Why we need to do fast breathing? Surya Namaskara, your breathing pattern change. You're starting to breathe more and more and more because you need it. You're burning. Required more oxygen. Here you are calm. You're working towards the left side of us, calming side of us. Totally different. So when the breath is calmer, your mind remains totally relaxed. It's not very aggressive mind like in a advanced or fast yoga practices. We have it. Totally different. Understand? So when you're doing it next time, there are certain yin yoga practice video. We have put it on our channels. You can watch it and practice it from there if you like to understand how exactly it works. Also, I organize every 3 months yin yoga teachers training in Dubai, and online I'll be doing it if you like to be part of it. Most welcome. Any question, I'll be here to help you out with. Kapila, I'm okay with the time. I totally lost the time today. So sorry for that. And the anatomical practice understanding in yin yoga is a little bit different than the yang yoga. Thank you, Kapil. Body alignment in yin yoga is different from the yang yoga. Here, as I mentioned, there are 3 principles to every asana: is finding the right depth, And the posture that we also practice in yin yoga is not exactly we practice in yang yoga. That's the difference, because yin yoga postures are totally dedicated, designed to work on the yin part of the body. The alignment does not matter here so much. The depth of the asana matters, how deep you're going into the posture. And alignment here, we use lots of props, pillows, blocks to fill the gap. Because we are spending 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes in every asana. So let's say in certain asana, your neck is hanging here for 2 minutes is not good for your neck. So we put a pillows or we fill up the gap. So you are in the final position, you're very comfortable. You're very relaxed, you're very chill, you're very calm. You're not struggling there. So alignment is not important part in your yin yoga, but the depth and how you're feeling in the final position is the important part. This is not Iyengar yoga. The first principle is right depth, finding the right depth of the asana of your body. Second is holding still. Third is working on calmness. I always say in my class, the body is still like a mountain when you go in yin yoga practice. The breath is flowing like a river, and the mind is calm like a Buddha, like a blue sky. This represents the whole effect of the yin yoga posture. Amit, I hope you got your answer. Yes, Amit, I will be posting that on our social media. You can check on Lifestyle Yoga Dubai page. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I'll be more than happy to answer your question. You can write me anytime. Wish you all the best, guys. Thank you, Kapil, for organizing this.